Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. We're uncovering why homes in Leeds, Alabama face such unique and, frankly, frequent plumbing disasters. If you've ever felt like your home is constantly battling water pressure issues, mysterious leaks, or suddenly failing appliances, you are absolutely not alone. We're going to unpack the science, the geography, and the infrastructure that creates this perfect storm. If you live out near Bass Pro Shops or off Highway 78, well, you're about to find out exactly what's ticking right beneath your floorboards. During the housing boom of the 1980s, entire neighborhoods, like the Overlook subdivision, went up super fast. But the materials used back then, specifically galvanized steel pipes, have a definitive expiration date. We're going to look at why that expiration date is hitting so many local homeowners right now, all at the exact same time. Now, here's the real mystery. Why do homes in Leeds experience way more plumbing failures than houses just, say, 15 miles west in Birmingham proper? It actually comes down to geography. Leeds sits right in the transition zone between Birmingham's standard urban infrastructure and the much more rural environment of St. Clair County. That specific location exposes our properties to a unique combination of aggressive soil, harsh water, and challenging weather that typical city homes simply do not have to endure. Section 1. The Leeds Plumbing Mystery. To solve this, we really need to look at the transition zone, starting with the very ground your home sits on. Section 2. Threats to your pipes. Let's move straight to the specific environmental culprits attacking your plumbing system literally 24/7. These aren't just random accidents, they are constant geological and climatic forces. Imagine a slow-motion natural disaster happening right in your yard. That's the local red clay. Alabama is famous for its soaking wet winters and completely bone-dry summers, right? Well, when that red clay gets drenched, it swells up dramatically. Then, when it dries out, it shrinks and pulls away. This constant, heavy shifting exerts incredible pressure on rigid underground pipes, literally snapping old clay and cast iron sewer lines right in half. It's wild. Then we've got the second major culprit, hard water. The water flowing into Leeds from the Coosa River is absolutely packed with heavy minerals. Over time, calcium and magnesium settle at the bottom of your water heater and turn into this rock-like sediment. It essentially insulates the heating element. So your system works harder, makes those weird popping sounds, and fails way before it should. Oh, and it completely chokes off your fixture aerators, totally ruining your water pressure. So put it all together. High humidity near Logan Martin Lake, January freeze snaps dropping down into the teens, invasive tree roots from those gorgeous mature oaks and pines, and aging 1980s construction. It is a perfect storm for 4 massive failures. Any one of these issues is a huge headache, but in Leeds, homeowners are frequently battling 2 or 3 of these elements at the exact same time. If your home went up during that 1980s boom, your original pipes are at their absolute breaking point right now. Galvanized pipes don't just spring a leak out of nowhere. They slowly corrode from the inside out. They choke off your water flow and contaminate your supply with rust particles. If you're seeing discolored water or getting those random pinhole leaks today, yeah, that's the final stage of a 4-decade-long deterioration process. Section 3. DIY versus professional repair. Facing all these disasters, it's so tempting to just grab a wrench, but let's see how that builds into an even bigger problem. Look, plunging a drain is one thing, but tackling corroded pipes or severe root intrusions yourself? That usually leads to expensive water damage and major home resale issues. Professional tools make a massive difference here. You simply cannot fix a tree root invasion with a bottle of store-bought drain cleaner. You need commercial-grade hydrojetters, pipe locators, and camera inspections. Relying on DIY fixes for structural plumbing is a huge gamble, and the stakes are the safety and integrity of your own home. And a botched DIY job doesn't just fail, it triggers this awful cascade of hidden costs. That $20 bottle of chemicals or weekend warrior attempt can easily turn into tearing out drywall to fix a much bigger mess. Because when an improper repair bursts behind a wall, you're no longer just paying a plumber to fix a pipe. You're paying for water damage remediation, replacing ruined floors, and fighting mold in your bathroom cabinets. What started as a cheap fix spirals into a massively expensive mistake. Section 4. Codes, costs, and timelines. Let's completely demystify the financial and legal realities of getting this fixed properly, right here in St. Clair County. The good news, when you hire a professional, you aren't waiting around in a flooded house. True local experts can tackle an emergency patch or clear a drain on the exact same day, often within just a couple of hours. Even a huge job, like completely replacing all those failing 1980s pipes with modern PEX or copper, only takes 3 to 5 days, depending on your home's layout. Cost-wise, $50 to $100 is the average call-out charge for a plumber in Leeds, and that covers that vital first hour of expert diagnostic time. It pays for the fuel, the equipment, and the time to properly assess your specific crisis. And hey, some companies will even waive this fee entirely if you decide to go ahead with their recommended repairs. For the actual labor, you can expect an hourly rate between $75 and $150. Now, obviously, specialized work or a 2 a.m. emergency will naturally adjust those numbers. Replacing a sewer line under a concrete driveway with a mini excavator is a whole different ballgame than swapping out a dripping faucet. The absolute key here is to secure upfront pricing after a proper diagnosis, so you know exactly what the whole shebang will cost before a single wrench is turned. And we have to talk about code compliance. It isn't just red tape, folks. It's the Alabama International Plumbing Code, ensuring your home won't flood again and your insurance claim won't be denied. If you install a water heater without the required temperature and pressure relief valves, or skip the seismic strapping, a failure won't just be messy, it could literally void your insurance policy. Plus, proper permitting and county inspections protect the resale value of your property. Section 5. The Permanent Plumbing Solution. So, how do we stop just patching the symptoms and actually solve this local mystery for good? Let's look at the methodology that really works. Fortress Plumbing Birmingham uses this exact four-step methodology to tackle Leeds' unique infrastructure. They use commercial-grade tools like thermal imaging instead of just guessing. By sliding a high-definition camera directly into your drains, they don't have to wonder if a clog is just hair or if oak tree roots have completely crushed the pipe. You see the evidence with your own eyes, you approve the exact cost, and you get a code-compliant fix that actually lasts. Their whole philosophy of permanent repair comes down to this one idea: diagnose the root cause, not just the symptom. Treating the symptom is plunging a drain that keeps backing up every 6 months. Treating the root cause, that's finding the exact collapsed section of underground pipe where the red clay shifted and replacing it permanently so you never ever have to deal with that backup again. Because their technicians live right here locally in St. Clair and Jefferson counties, they understand our municipal water pressure, the shifting red clay, and that specific 1980s architecture. That means they can fix it properly on the very first visit. When a pipe bursts in the middle of the night, your call isn't being routed to some franchise dispatch center 3 states away. You get local experts who arrive with fully stocked trucks, completely ready to back their work with a solid 1-year labor warranty. So look at your own plumbing right now. Will your home's aging pipes survive the next January freeze, or is it time to permanently solve the root cause? Because ignoring the warning signs won't make the red clay or the hard water disappear. Whether you're dealing with discolored water, a water heater making strange noises, or you just know your home still relies on its original 1980s galvanized pipes, the environment here in Leeds is unforgiving. Taking action now with a professional diagnosis and permanent repairs is the only real way to protect your home from the next inevitable freeze. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and stay safe out there.